You have a meaningful communication about something bigger than you. That's the point. Intellectual intimacy, meaningful conversations that are outside of you.
Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Brianne Davis-Gantt. Today I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know, those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave, or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing. Join me each week as we take a deep dive into one subject matter, exploring the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. Get ready for a more focused, more revealing journey into the human experience. This is Secret Life, and I'm excited for you to join the ride. Today, we are talking about, dun, 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 intellect intimacy. That's a tongue twister. Intellect intimacy. It refers to a deep connection and shared interest between two people that stems from the mind. Shared intellect pursuits and involves engaging in meaningful conversations, learning from each other, appreciating the diverse perspectives, ultimately fostering a stronger and more fulfilling relationship. Now, I wanted to talk about this because I am working with this amazing client and teaching him how to healthy date. And we are working on the 5 types of intimacy. And I'm also expanding that. I think there's actually 10 types of intimacy. And we are working on intellect intimacy because he thinks that's the one area in his relationships he's failed in. And so him and I are doing a deep dive on how to build intellect intimacy with a woman. And so when him and I were working on it, I was like, oh my gosh, I should do a podcast on this because he says it's really helping him. So him and I started working on what is the things he needs to work on to build intellect intimacy and why he struggles. So how do you do this? How do you build a stronger connection with your mind? And it's not just because he was thinking, oh, I have to have the same, it has to be about politics or worldviews. And he's like, I don't want to fucking talk about politics. I'm so over it. And it's such a heated conversation. I'm like, no, that's not, worldviews and politics is not all what intellect intimacy is about. So it's just let's break it down. The number one thing to build intellect intimacy is learning from the other person. Do you learn from the other person? Does that other person expand your mind? Do you learn more things from them? And it could be as simple as tasting something new, eating a new food, opening your mind to a new thought process, a new flower. Oh, that flower is what was it? My husband bought me these beautiful flowers, and it was a Gerber or something. I don't even remember the name of it at this point, but it was beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, what kind of flower is that? And he brought the flower to, then I saw, oh, what kind of flower? I've never seen this flower. And expanded my mind. Now, at this moment, it's very early in the morning, and I cannot remember the name of the flower, so it doesn't sound like I learned that much, but I did. I'm telling you now, I knew about this new flower that I'm obsessed with. That is building on your mind and go, oh, these new hikes, this new experience, this new place I've never traveled to.
all these new things, this new type of coffee from Turkey that is delicious. These are things you are learning from this other person. This new book, this new poem I read, this new author. These are other things, not just worldviews and politics. Number 2, having mental stimulating conversations, and it could be over television shows, books, music. I mean, Mark and I literally listen sometimes to lyrics of songs. Our favorite band is the Avett Brothers, and I will stop a song and go, did you just hear that lyric? And Mark doesn't listen to lyrics. He listens to the melody more. And I will rewind. Well, it's not a tape. I'm old school. I will replay the song and he will go, oh, wow, I didn't hear that. And I said, yeah, that's like this. And I'll put it with something in my past life, right? And then he'll go, and we will literally break down the Avett Brothers songs. And sometimes I'll go, what is the meaning of this song? And I'll look it up, why they wrote the song. And then we watched the Avett Brothers documentary and then watched the amazing producer that produced one of the documentary, and we became obsessed with him and then looked into his career. It took us down a rabbit hole, and that opened up our mind to their whole journey as musicians, and we had a stimulating conversations over it. So that's another way. Here's the number 3, being able to ask questions and explore something together. We did that together. And now we go see them in concert every time they're in LA. We even drove up Northern California to go to their concert. And we've expanded and grew together with our love of their music. And that is intellect intimacy. And that has expanded our lives. It's not just about, what do you think about what's happening in the Middle East or what's going on with the United States? Because that's where he got stunted, he's felt, my client. So you have a meaningful communication about something bigger than you. That's the point. Intellect intimacy, meaningful conversations that are outside of you. And here's another simpler way. You are on a date, looking at other people and go, I wonder what's going on with them. And looking and having a conversation. Do you think they're on a first date too? Do you think they've been together for a while? And looking at other people and having meaningful conversations. Their body language. What are you thinking they're thinking? That's another way to expand your intellectual intimacy. Okay, here's number 5, having shared educational and social interests. So he loves pickleball. Everybody loves pickleball except me. But that's a social interest. Going to see concerts, going to the museum, those kind of things, shared interests, educational experiences. Mark and I love to do together like workshops. We're like a workshop couple, one of those cheesy, Landmark, Momentum, those kind of workshop couples. We love to expand our education around mental health. So any mental health thing we get invited to, our companies we work with for our jobs, we are like, yeah, we'll do it together. And we love to do like that kind of growth together and learn about trauma. How do you work through trauma? And Mark and I are like, sign us up. We'll do that together. Excitement around connection that is beyond being physical. So any connection that isn't physical can expand your intellectual intimacy. And people always I have another male client. He always thinks he needs physical touch or sexuality to be his cornerstone for connection with his wife. And I'm like, dude, that is the icing on the cake. That means actually nothing. Physical intimacy, yes, it's important, but that is actually not deep connection. What is deep connection is the emotional, intellectual intimacy where you can have a conversation, where you can actually talk to the other person and flow a conversation, learn about them and they learn about you. And you expand into bigger things and you carry on something where you both are growing and evolving and learning and your minds get bigger and your connection gets stronger. And that the physical and sexual is just a teeny little bit. Sharing your thoughts and hopes. If you can't quote your fucking partner or the person you're seeing for a long time what their hopes and their thoughts are and look at their face and know what they're thinking and feeling, you gotta do some work. You don't know their intellectual intimacy. You don't know what if their hopes are, or what's their purpose. You need to do some work on yourself to go, I need to expand my own capacity to hold someone else's that into me see, like my own self, than to connect to somebody else on an intimate level, because my mind is not connecting to their mind. Creating and setting goals together. That's a huge one for intellectual intimacy. If you are dating someone or even first start dating someone, talk about and ask about their goals. What are your goals? Ask them, what are your goals? Oh, is this the job you like? Have you always wanted to do this? Is there something else you want to do? What's your creative things? What do you like to create? Is there any hobbies you like? Those are big things on intellectual intimacy on first dates, second dates, third dates. Experience the feeling of being on the same wavelength. It's an energy thing. Have you ever met those people where it's like you flow? There's a flow in the conversation and it's easy, not in a flirtatious, like getting high off the person, but it actually feels like you flow so easily and you're connecting on another wavelength. That's the feeling where it's not a struggle and you're like, oh, I understand them and they understand me. That is intellectual intimacy working. And here's the benefits. You're getting stimulated. And if you're stimulated in the mind, your full body is stimulated. And it improves emotional connection, and then it improves physical connection. And there's much more gratitude in your life and grateful for the other person. And you are evolving as a human being. So here are some key examples of intellectual intimacy. You plan the future together. You talk about it. You seek their feedback. You invite your partner to join into your favorite hobby. You discuss your core values and needs. There is healthy debates about psychology, religion, abstract ideas. And my favorite one, even though it's emotional intimacy, you identify feelings like talking to your partner about anything. You identify with a feeling like you can talk about your partner with anything. It's not just about emotions. You can literally talk about your partner with anything. Here's an example. I came in last night. I get fired up, as you can tell. Especially if it's things I truly believe in. And I come in and I talk to Mark when he's in the office and I'm like, and this, and this, and this. And he leaned back in his chair. It's so cute. He leans back and he has his feet up and he's like, you crack me up. He's like, Brie, you crack me up. You're like, you get so worked up. And he just was, it's so cute. He's like, you're so cute. You get worked up. It's funny when you get worked up like this. It's like you saw on his face the appreciation for my passion and intensity about what my mind was so pissed about and like I get so like passionate about. And I could see he appreciated me and was grateful for my mind at that moment. And that in that moment right then, I saw the intellectual intimacy we had together. And that also made me want to talk about this because that's what a healthy relationship is. And that's ways you can build it is you want to be able to come in and passionately talk about someone and see the gratitude on their face and smile on their face, that they love you and that your brain matters to them and your thoughts matter to them and your successes matter to them and your goals matter to them and your ideas matter to them and that you learn from them as well and you ask for their feedback and you want to hear and you want to go, hey, what do you think about this? And you set goals with them and you take personal risks and you prioritize them and prioritize meaningful friendships and you practice listening to them. And it's just such a beautiful existence and you ask for quality time with them and you talk about your fears and you share interests and you plan trips. I mean, all these things make a healthy relationship. And it may sound like this. So here's some things in an intellectual, healthy relationship sound like. I appreciate you for who you are. I take responsibility for my actions. And I'm sorry I said those things. I validate your perspective. I always am curious about what you think. What do you think? What do you believe in this? I trust you. I support you. What is your authentic self? I'm committed to our relationships. What is your value? I want to communicate my needs. Here are my boundaries. What is your boundary? I'm open to change. What do you want me to be in this moment? I'm grateful for you. I don't want to take you for granted. Tell me how you feel. I want to create this safe space, and I want to be safe for you. I need to take this time for myself, and I know you need time, so let's just take a moment for ourselves. These are how healthy intellectual relationships sound, and they respect each other, and they hold space for each other, and they stimulate each other's growth, and they increase the well-being, and it's very strong relationship. But they're also open to challenge each other, have different perspectives, and they also give each other that space to be autonomy. They don't enmesh. So I hope this makes sense. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really love sharing how Mark and I share this with each other, and it's probably the most important aspect of our relationship, I would say, that has made us the strongest. We have evolved the most with our intellectual intimacy and growth, and I think if I could say one thing to any couple, it's the most important aspect to long-term healthy relationships. 20 years together, that is the one thing we do the most, is we grow together, evolve together in our minds, and we appreciate each other's thoughts, values, beliefs, and we always are willing to evolve together. Thank you for listening to Secret Life Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this topic this week. And if you have anything you want me to talk about it, send it my way at secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you'd like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.